here. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday, a day that I knew that it was. April 22nd. Every team in the major leagues is going to play baseball today. Big old Tuesday slate. Now, 10-game main slate, 4-game pre-slate, and then like the Yankees and Guardians again earlier than the pre-slate. But bigger the slate, more options, more research, more work to do, more props to bet. I like the big slates for prop betting. I do. Small slates for DFS, big slates for prop betting. It's just much fun. What up, Cujo? What up, Andy? What up, Cosmo, Dantar, J3, Jesse here. Hope everyone had a solid Monday night. The night of Max Meyer. Ooh, I've already I saved some time. Put all the games in the spreadsheet. So what we'll do is we'll go through now and just do the pitching research. We'll start inputting, start formulating pitcher projections, stuff like that for the MLB Grind spreadsheet. If you guys don't have access to it, find the paywall, MLBGrind.com. Something that we keep up with on the daily. That for me is something I've developed over the last 10 years as a tool to research the slate as fast as possible using all of my favorite stats to look at, split up the pitchers, showing you the last couple of years of the pitcher's performance for both sides of the plate. The pitch report, we'll have the bomb detector loaded up in just a second, the stack rating, all that good stuff. It's such a pride and joy. It's my baby, and it's only growing, man. We've actually added a lot of stuff this year, including the weather grade to the stack rating model and all that good stuff. So if you guys want to get access to this, and I know sometimes you ain't got 2 hours, 3 hours to hang out with me to research, but you trust that we're doing it, this spreadsheet will get you going and get you in the right direction. Go to MLBGrind.com, click premium memberships, try a week pass, jump in there, and you'll also get a link to the Discord. You can tag me with any questions. You like the 6-game slates? So what I've learned is historically my best DFS slates for baseball are the 6 to 8. Although I do kind of crush, and I should do this more, I do kind of crush the 4 or less night slates. But I don't know why. I like anytime I play it, like I played one this season and finished second or third. I don't know. I gotta do more of that. But overall, running 150, I like the 6 to 8 game slates. What's up, Crease? Off till Friday. Let's go. Dip my toes in NBA Showdown stuff. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the playoffs yet. Been super busy. But that was kind of the commitment we made here. Is I'm just here for baseball. But no, playoff basketball hits different. If I could watch some of it, I might. But man, this past week there's been wrestling, there's been baseball, there's been I still got a dog to tend to, so it's just like I ain't got time to catch up. But seeing Twitter every night gets me going. All right, we're gonna talk about this Yankees Guardians game. It's not gonna be there might be a showdown for it, but it's not gonna be on one of the multi-game slates. Yankees have a 4.3 run total. The music good? Not too loud, not too. Will Warren taking on Tanner Bybee. Will Warren is I was gonna say the lesser of these two pitches, but Bybee's been off to a rough start. Both pitches in the double-digit barrel percentage. We saw yesterday Clark Schmidt kind of got. Man, he just cannot get lefties out. And let's go pull up this bullpen usage chart. That made him go to Gomez, who actually ate a lot. Him and Yarbrough. So the Yankees bullpen is probably still pretty solid. I'm trying to think who could clean up long relief here if they had to. I guess Yarbrough could come back out, but good on Gomez for wearing it for Clark and getting through. Will Warren, though, I'm not as much of a believer as maybe some people are. The 5.43 expected ERA, the 1.4 WHIP, the walks to lefties is an incredible problem against the Guardians lineup that will likely be all lefties outside of Arias in the projected right now. It's a team chock full of switchies and lefties. So this is a tough spot for Warren. And I mean, right off the rip, I got to go Guardians offense on the stack interest ranking. And then running it back here, Bybee. I still want to believe in Bybee to be better because we've got 2 seasons of okayness and 20 innings so far this season just kind of hasn't gone his way. Let's go pull up the Savant. See if there's any glaring differences from this year to last year. If I had to pitch one of these pitchers, it's obviously Bybee, but that's not saying much. Fastball's at 94. Last year was at 94. Cutters at 85. Last year was 86. So it's a little different, but nothing too staggering for April. 93 on the sinker. So he's throwing the sinker as his number 3. Last year the sinker was his least used pitch. So mixing that in a little bit more, and the sinker's not necessarily often designed to be your strikeout pitch. Usually you pitch to contact, bad contact, make a little bit more out of your pitch count. And we're kind of seeing that, just a 15% whiff rate, but a 28% put away, -7-degree launch angle. So that looks like the biggest difference from this year to last year. It has abandoned the curveball. And then throw a sweeper changeup. So expected slug on that cutter is pretty alarming. The changeup's not great, but we're talking low sample. I think we go obviously Yankees as the number 2 interest here, and then Tanner Bybee if we have to. But on the main slate, I wouldn't even touch Bybee here. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So it'd be an offense game. Was it a 9 total? Easy to pull out who you like, but I think these Guardians lefties are in for a treat, dude. This Will Warren lefty split is just obscene between the walks and the home runs. Quan, Jones, J-Ram, Manzardo and J-Ram both got into one yesterday. So it's a really good spot for them to maybe put one over the fence if Jones and Quan draw some walks and make some stuff happen. So I would say this is a solid year fee opportunity. But man, do I like the Guardian side of this one. Let's see. Any fantasy points props for J-Ram? J-Ram, Quam. Yeah, I would like these quite a bit actually. Figured today we'll make a list of props we like for the Discord instead of just going at all. All right, props. Let's go Yankees, Guardians. We like, this is PrizePicks, right? On over 6.5 FPS. J-Ram over 7.5 FPS, and then I wouldn't mind a Manzardo something. Two hits, runs, RBIs, maybe. Wait, what is this? 1 home run versus half a home? Huh? Oh, is that their way of double dong? That's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. But one would push it, right? Theoretically, that's weird. Is that new? Probably go after Manzardo hits, runs, and RBI. Hits, runs, RBI. So let's just stop there. So Diego, remember on Ben Rice today? It was 500. J 500. I give it. I like that. Rice had the day off yesterday. Bybee so far this season, digging into last season, has certainly struggled to keep the ball in the park against lefties. A aggregate 40+% hard contact rate to lefties so far this season. He's increased the ground ball rate, but the home run per nine has shot up even more. And Ben Rice has just been a problem. So yeah, I don't mind that. If we get lead off Ben Rice, he's going to get maximum opportunities to crack that bat. Let's see what Cleveland's bullpen's looking like. I saw they optioned or DFA'd rather Tristan McKenzie, and I was just like kind of crazy because that kid was kind of special. Jacob Junis. Fun fact, Jacob Junis was a pitcher for the Royals and he broke Judge's wrist years back. Lineup just came out for Cleveland. Nick Kurtz won't be part of a platoon. He's sitting versus lefty Tuesday to give him a chance to acclimate. Wait, you called the kid up just to sit him on the bench for game one? All right. Guardians put out 9 lefty. Yeah, well, Warren is in trouble. He might be on legitimate. Can he get out of the first inning watch? I don't have the lineup yet though. Unless I'll just go to their Twitter, huh? Guardians. I see it now. Juan, Jones, J-Ram, Manzardo, Santana, O'Naylor, Martinez, Neiman. Rocio. Yeah, all lefties. Jeez. All right, GG's. And then, of course, we're going to be high on the Guardians. I think Will Warren's probably over 2.5 earned runs would make a lot of sense. So that's a pretty solid card. Will Warren over 2.5 earned. Why am I making a card here? Let me just make a card. Yeah, I was thinking about doing Underdog today, but I have to double check their scoring for fantasy. I think it's the same. Oh, you know what I need to do? I have to. Let's go pay that. I'm just gonna fire away some cards on the air. We'll just try and reward the research in the moment. Now I'm having to go through 2FA. Guess I should have did this before I got on here, huh? There we go. Or maybe I'll just do it later. I can't get through this 2FA right now. We'll just do it later. Give me Warren over 2.5 earnings. I think January we could probably just total basis. Yeah, 100%. Well, I also do fantasy points for him because he can steal a bag, but not too worried about that. And because remember, we're dealing with this 15-18% walk rate too, so kind of I'd hate to get screwed on total basis with a walk. What up, Cosmo? Yes, A's announcer, take a pause. Dude, I play MLB The Show, and his card was kind of like one of the first cards you get. And I was like, man, you have to be real careful phonetically. So, I don't know. I'm sure that that's something that they've been looking at. But yes, not only for like broadcast, but so many streaming sites like YouTube, Twitch, TikTok especially, like they have algorithms and machines that can listen to the audio, and like sometimes you get accidentally banned for, or you know, hushed for TOS breaking words. So like I wonder if, you know, my boy Kurtz might get people banished into the shadow realm on TikTok. Yeah, I haven't loaded up MLB The Show in like 2 weeks. One of their developers tweeted that they'll fix that on the next update. So maybe I'll be back on the next update. Until then, it's Fortnite over here. All right, give me Guardians, Yankees. I'm way more on the Guardians here, as far as matchup goes. But Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, those two guys can hit just about anybody. But yeah, I hate to make a. I was telling my boy Rich about this the other day. I hate having to gamble on or against my team. I just want to leave them out. But that seems like such a clear problem day for Will Warren. Let's move on to the pre-slate, the slate before the main slate. It's the Padres and Tigers. Padres have a 3.7 run total, 3.9 on the Tigers. On these games and beyond, we'll start doing pitcher projections as well. Nick Pivetta throwing for the Padres today. He'll be up against Jack Flaherty, two pretty solid pitchers. So I guess on this slate, this is where a lot of your pitching interest is going to come. We got 60-degree temps in Comerica with neutral winds blowing in. So right off the rip, I think Nick Pivetta is going to outmatch up Jack Flaherty, meaning that this Tigers offense presents more strikeouts than this Padres one does. So we're going to go Pivetta over Flaherty in our rankings here. And then once we get past that, what are our interests? Well, if we're looking at Flaherty's weaknesses, he can allow some power to righties. That might be a Tatis continuing to be hot. And that's kind of it. Just chasing some big swings here. Otherwise, we're betting on talent. And I think the run totals are kind of in agreement on that. So I think for now, we'll just go Pivetta, Flaherty, and then you would probably one off the guys you like the most here. Let me pull up the DraftKings book. And let's start getting some pitcher projections going here. So first of all, Pivetta, I'm going to give him that 28% K rate with a 6.5% walk rate. And then for Flaherty, I'm gonna give him that 28 with a 10% walk rate. And we'll go pull up the outs. Never bet on or against my team. Yeah. A weird spot. The other day I actually cashed a PrizePicks card off of a Ronda 10th inning homer against the Yankees. I was like, you know what? I don't want your blood money, PrizePicks. F out of here. 17.5, a little juice on the over. I'm gonna put them both down for 17.5, but I'm gonna apply Pivetta for the quality start. I'm gonna give him 2 towards the QS. Larry, I'm gonna give him 1, but tougher matchup, and he's not as implied for 18. And that's how we read that one. Certainly no weather boost. Move on to the next game here. Reds and the Marlins. Boy, Max Meyer left the planet Earth yesterday. Didn't get the quality start though, man. Can't play him. Huge strikeout game out of him. We kind of talked about it on the stream yesterday. We looked at his slider versus the slider rating in the pitch report for the Reds. It wasn't good. And he ended up being our favorite pitcher, and he ended up being the best pitcher on the slate. Quality start be darned. We do have a confirmed Reds lineup today, as we got Nick Martinez spitting the seams against Edward Cabrera. 4.2 run total implied for the Marlins, 4.5 for the Reds here. And boy, has it been Reds baseball to score 0 and then 10 and then 0? It's like they don't really score in between. Let's see, Lone Depot Park roof. I typed Deport. Am I racist? What the freak? Lone Deport. Okay. All right. According to MLB.com/Marlins/ballpark/game day, they got roof open, roof status to change. This is something we talked about yesterday. Doesn't necessarily mean a ton for these offenses, and it's still a spacious ballpark, but it is 80-degree air that will swirl around in the stadium and help out the contact, the batted ball events, right? And there should be more batted ball events today than they were yesterday, at least on the red side. But both pitchers can get got, starting with Nick Martinez, a 20% K rate on the season, 1.43 whip, 5.25 expected ERA, and a double-digit barrel percentage. All that is gettable, and especially when you look at his body of work this season, looks like he's getting a little bit unlucky against lefties. A 286 average allowed, 169 home run per 9 on a 295 xFIP. But against righties, and this is a trend we've seen for 3 years now, 1.7 home run per 9 and a 14% K rate. And his height in terms of striking out righties in the last 3 years was 20% 2 years ago. So we might give him a little bit of a boost for those strikeouts to come back, but the walks and the home run per 9 still there. The problem is, who do you play on the Marlins? One, that could tap into that, and two, that you feel great about. Well, Wagaman's got a couple of homers in the past week, 190 ISO since the beginning of last year, 817 OPS, 17% K rate. So ironically, it's a really good spot for Wagaman, and assuming he's batting top 3 for the Marlins here, you might get a couple shots at a cheap price to kind of tap into those splits. But outside of that, no one's going to give you the warm and fuzzies. So you're just kind of betting against bad talent, right? Usually you bet on talent, but here you're going to bet against. But to their credit, Stowers, Mervis, and Myers, the only guys with negative WRC pluses against righties, going back to the beginning of last year. So they might surprise some people. I think Marlins is more of a sub stack for me than anything. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to be... All right, we'll do Marlins sub stack for now as the top. But we may change that. Edward Cabrera, a 1-4 K rate so far this season. That's about what you should expect from him long term, but you should also expect high walk rates, and that has not been something that he has cured in 180 plus innings in the last 2 years, rocking 12+% walk rate to both sides of the plate. And this is a Reds team that doesn't walk a lot, but if you walk McLean, Ellie, De La Cruz, Gavin Lux, especially Ellie, they could get a little aggressive on the bases. So the lack of clean innings potential for Cabrera will kind of probably leave him out of my short-term interest. And I also think that is something that doesn't bode well for his probably, I won't say limited, but topped pitch count. He hasn't got it now. He hasn't hit the 6th inning yet. And a lot of it is because you're wasting pitches when you're walking hitters on top of not having a great hit for average allowed. So can't really say that I'm going to be that intrigued by Cabrera today. No pitch report on him. Fastball, curve, changeup. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Reds over the Marlins substack, and then we'll go Marlins substack. And I don't think I'm gonna throw either one of these pitchers. We did talk about that slider. Jesse, when Murphy hit that bomb, the Crazy tagged me on Twitter, and I was like, no way. What up, Travis? Hope you've been all right. We gotta put something in here for these pitchers. I'm gonna go 20% on Nick Martinez, but I'll tell you what, I don't know, is this lefty strike? I guess that's kind of his game. Strikes out, so I'll give him a 20. 20 in 8. John Murphy. Cabrera will give him a 24, but we gotta give him like a, geez, I think a 15% walk rate might be generous. It's less than his, yeah, let's do 24 and 15. And let's see what our out odds are. 17.5 and 15. That is heavy juice on the 15, so we'll go with that. Martinez looks more intriguing than the Marlins here because of Vegas kind of setting this line close enough to a quality start. But I'm gonna wait to see what else is out there. I feel like I'm not playing Nick Martinez, but I can go Pivetta and Flaherty. But I get Flaherty has a much better, much worse matchup. So give me Reds for now. I just like stacking teams against high walk pitchers because it just creates the crooked number inning potential. And once you do that, then you start playing damage control and you bring out, you know, your low leverage relievers that are just there to mop it up. And we've kind of seen that. And then you got Gary Sanchez throwing pitches in the 8th inning. In this case, Jesus Sanchez, right? All right, Mariners and the Red Sox. We got 2 more games on this slate. All right, Mariners and the Red Sox. We're gonna go run total for the Mariners 4.4, Red Sox 4.8. Bryce Miller on the bump for the Mariners, 24% K rate so far at 3.31 expected ERA. A 1.8% barrel rate and overall decent. The average allowed to righties, you like to see that come down to something a little bit more comparable to last year. Also want to see his ground ball rate come back up, something more comparable to last year. It looks like that ground ball, the difference between the ground ball this year and last year has turned into his line drives. And yeah, this is kind of a solid offense, Red Sox offense in Fenway. You really don't want to figure it out after the fact, right? You want to have your stuff when you go out there, but he has had his stuff against lefties so far. But it is walking lefties at a high clip. But it is 21 innings, so we might see that regress to the mean of what we saw the last couple of years. But in the last couple of years, we did see an elevated home run for 9 and an elevated fly ball rate. And we've also seen that fly ball rate be pretty high this year. What we haven't seen be high is his hard contact rate. So because of that, I'm gonna go look at his strength of schedule first and foremost. Cincy, Texas, San Fran Athletics. And 1.8% barrel rate. He's just hard to square up, ain't he? Let's see. There it is. Pull Bryce Miller's Savant. Bullpen is the worst. Yeah, it's a good spot for the Reds to kind of break out. That would be baseball. 1 billion strikeouts one day and then drop 15 the next day. Exit velo. This looks like his fastball is just better, or at least better results so far. It's actually down a mile per hour, but the expected slug is lower, much lower than last year. The expected WOBA is much lower, and if your fastball spitting out stuff like that, you know, your secondary and tertiary pitches can only be good. Is there like a quantifiable reason that his fastball is doing this? Last year, a little bit more movement. It's just got a good fastball. I don't know what to tell you. It's got a good fastball. It'll be put to the test in Fenway, that's for gosh dang sure. We do have some wind blowing out to right, 7-degree temps. That'll be good for your lefty pull hitters, your Devers, Polanco, Cal Raleigh. It's kind of a interesting spot. I think that's a two-sided coin, just because one, the Red Sox run total is so high. You're giving them some respect in Fenway, and yeah, Bryant Bayo throwing baseballs for the Red Sox here. 162.1 innings last year. Gonna be his season debut this year. Let's see if we can get a tell on what he's done so far this year in the minors. $14 innings, 18 hits, not what you want. 11 earnings, 1 bomb, 21 strikeouts in 14 innings. You'll take that with a 316 average and a 157 whip. I mean, if there's a team, his stat line is basically the inverse of what the Mariners are, right? Like the Mariners are either going to hit a bomb or strike out. So this might be the most play with fire spot with a little bit of potential. Hasn't gone more than 4 innings, so I would imagine 5 innings. If you got through 5, hey, GG. But yeah, this is a very volatile stat line that really isn't that far from what we saw last year. Maybe the walks. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna go Red Sox, Bryce Miller, Mariners. I don't know. I don't think I got the cajones to click on Bayo here. But there's some strikeout stuff there, and there's some strikeout stuff in this lineup. 26% aggregate K rate in this projected. But a lot of it is towards the righty side, right? And this is going to be quite a bit of lefties in the projected, and then you tap into your sub 20% K rate last 2 years, elevated walk rate. So I'm gonna leave Bayo off the list here, and we're gonna go Red Sox, Miller, Mariners. And now let's go formulate a projection here. I got my 16.5. So let me give him 24 and I'll go 24 and 10 to tax him for his lefty walks. And then for Bayo, I'm gonna give him 21. I'm gonna give him 10 and tax him for his lefty walks. 16.5 there. I'm gonna go 14.5 for Bayo, since we haven't seen him got out of 4 innings in the minors. And we'll kind of leave it at that. What's up, Ho-Jen? Hope you've been all right. You know, I have done so much sleeping in the last 3 days. I think I laid down at like 9 p.m. yesterday and woke up at 12. And I'm getting through it. We're getting through it. All right, 1 game left on this early slate. Here it is: Orioles and Nationals. And then we'll tighten up the early stack rating, the early projections, all that good stuff. Orioles have a 4.9 run total. Nationals 4.3. So a lot of runs right there implied for the Birds. Dean Creamer pitching here, 14% K rate so far this season. The called strike is still good. The swinging strike rate, not so much. Looks like he's traded some of that swinging strike for called strike, but it has also given up 7% of his overall K rate here. And this is a Nationals team that really doesn't strike out at a high clip. Almost a 21% K rate so far this season. Is it them against lefties or them against righties that they are amongst the lowest in the league so far this season? Not that it matters. It's freaking Dean Creamer. I'm not playing him. They're 9th, so 21. Yeah, 9th against 9th fewest K rate against righties. So this is really not a spot. There's really not a spot ever that I'm gonna play Dean Creamer, but it's not today. It's definitely not today. Orioles right off the rip, high run total against Mitchell Parker and his low K rate. So they got to be included at the top of our interest rankings for this individual game. I think we run it right back here with Orioles interest, or Jesus, with Nationals interest. And I really don't have a case for either pitcher here. So I'm just gonna project them out and keep it moving. Doesn't look like we have. Oh, there we go. 17.5. They're giving Mitchell Parker a shot at a quality start, or at least 18 innings. Give Creamer I'll give him a 17% K rate, give him a little bit of juice, and a 9% walk rate. So Mitchell Parker, we'll go give him 17 and 9 as well. Then they're giving Mitchell Parker, or they're giving they're giving Parker 17.5, a little juice on the over, not a lot. And then Creamer 16.5. So that's where I'm gonna leave them. I'm not gonna give any points towards the QS for Fanduel's sake, and we'll just kind of go there. So now that we got that, you like Wood for a homer? Creamer, yeah, Creamer against lefties, 321 average, 292 home run per 9. Even if you dip back into the last 2 years, has really allowed power to lefties. And that was I was gonna say I mentioned the park difference, but that was really a boost for the righties, or a lack of a boost for righties. But yeah, Wood has been nuts. 220 plus ISO so far, 849 OPS, 138 WRC plus. Expect him to look good early. Let's go early pitcher projections. Let's get this going. Take out Warren. Oh shoot. This is the downside about doing it live. All right, Pavetta. This is where I should have enacted that drop down stuff. Jesus. Keep typing the team here. All right, so if you guys are subscribers to MLB Grind, our early pitcher projections are up. And let me get that early stack rating going. I'd imagine we're going to see Boston and Baltimore at the top. Baltimore 1, Boston 2, Seattle and Cincy, Miami, SD, Washington, Detroit. So early stack rating, early pitcher projections up. Get back to the index portal. Let's get back to my gallon of water. Gotta go get some more. What up, John? Yeah, I like that call. I think I would add James Wood. It's only 6.5 fantasy score too, so let me add that. But you can also grab his homer too. Jesus. Bobblehead day for James Wood. That's a thing. He's earned a bobblehead. I gotta know. April 22nd, James Wood oversized bobblehead. Well, lock it in. Good call. Dude, I used to have a narrative freaking chart in the spreadsheet for giggles. It would be like total hits and some narratives. Yeah, crazy. All right, let's move on to the main slate. Phillies and the Mets. Chris Sanchez taking on Griffin Canning. Phillies have a 4.3 run total. Griffin Canning's Mets have a 3.9. Dude, Juan freaking Soto, dude. I had a homer card going yesterday. He was on it. I don't know if you guys saw it. I wasn't watching the game. I looked over. I was like, oh, I got a Juan Soto homer. And then I looked over and the points were gone. So I went and watched it. It was like the most clear foul ball I've ever seen. But for some reason, like, I don't know. They just didn't not call it a foul. And they went through the apple came up. They went through the whole celebration. Citi Field thought they got Soto's first homer. I don't know. And then of course he grounds out right afterwards. But that was just my luck, you know. And now we see like all these clips of other home run parlays that didn't go through. It could have been a 3-run shot. He crushed it. But like Soto knows it's foul right there. And it's so clearly foul. Like when you watch it, like the ball's in front of the foul pole. But everyone called it a homer. So he just went with it. And then he grounds out. So We had some Soto shares yesterday. It was almost good, but it shouldn't have been. Yeah, Chris Sanchez has been pretty good. 30.7% carry so far this season, a 15.5% swing and strike rate. Sanchez has. I feel like I should have a deeper sample size here. Yeah, he pitched last year. Let me do something real quick. I think it's the A in his name. Static data. And let's fix this. I should open up Sanchez stats. There we go. It looks way better. Yeah, the swing and miss stuff has been there, but this year he's really realizing a high K rate, and he's facing a Mets team that this projected lineup has only 2 hitters, the first 2 that don't strike out 1 in 5 or worse. So I do think like he's certainly in play at 8,700. Mets are a good team since the beginning of last year. The WRC plus against lefties is there. So you gotta kind of understand that there is some risk that you're taking. But you are getting the benefit of Citi Field. It's 73 degrees, it's kind of mid. But I'm interested in Sanchez. He has been really, really good. Let's see if we can put some credence to his strength of schedule. Rockies suck, Dodgers are good, Cardinals meh, Giants meh. Ground ball rate's been great, but the even against Dodgers, I mean 9 strikeouts, we'll take that. So let's go and pull up his Savant. In stark contrast this year to that, a lot of sinker action. That changeup has a 54% whiff. Sheesh. Slider 36%. So sinker's kind of like a get-ahead pitch with an incredible 353 expected slug. Slider has a 526 expected slug, so you hang it, they bang it. But sinker's the reason why his ground ball is so high. And then if you're behind the count, turns to that elite changeup. We go check out the pitch report on Mets against the changeup. And actually killed the changeup. Holy crap. All right. Oh, well, tough matchup. Good. It's a good pitcher, good matchup, or good pitcher, good team. What wins? I was a knight in shining armor. How do we rank this one out? I think we're gonna go Phillies, Chris Sanchez, Mets. Griffin Canning, you did your thing, dog. Well, you know, for me as Canning, I think I went through this last week, and I was like, man, Canning is getting a lot of love here. And then he went out and showed me why with 8 strikeouts. Big pitch count. Strikeout potential's there. So far, he's been striking out lefties at a better clip. We'll see if that's sustainable. But we also haven't seen his numbers from last year, like the 272 average and the 1.67 homer per 9, catch up with him. And he's been on the right side of a ground ball rate. So I don't know. I don't think I got it in me to pitch against this Phillies team on a 10-game slate with a righty. But it's something to watch. A Mad Max. What if he knows they crush the changeup, goes more slider? Let's see how they do against the slider. Yeah, they definitely struggle more against the slider than that. But man, dude, that changeup grade could be kind of sneaky. It could be a pitch report special if the Mets come through. You gotta get past that sinker though. Let's project out the pitchers. Sanchez, I'm gonna give him. I gotta give him that 28% K rate. Canning, we're gonna give him 23. Walk rate on Sanchez is so good. I'm gonna give him 5. Canning, gotta give Cannon a 10. A 10 ski. Did they give us a juice like K prop line for Sanchez? Let's see, 17 and a half, 15 and a half. Probably not. We can go look. Five and a half juice on the over. That's, yeah, that's probably fair. My model spit out 623, heavily on the over. Makes sense. Yeah, that changeup grade's got me kind of curious with some Mets. Just because. I'm gonna do something blasphemous, and it's not for any reason other than just to see. Yes, this is a BVP screen. I'm just curious. Pete Alonso 200 with a bomb, 8 Ks. Lindor 333, 2 walks, 1 K. So Lindor's been. Marte's been good. Nemo's been good. Soto's meh. Not bad. Yeah, man, big field turtles. I am a little bit intrigued by that. But I don't know if they got enough juice to lay it on them for like a double-digit score on a 10-game slate. That's kind of what you expect, yeah. You got 6'4" and 165. What's my walk set? About 121. I guess we keep it moving. Cardinals and the Braves. Payante taking on Wiles. I gotta do some confirmation on this. One, I don't know who that is. Two, I need to find out who it is. If for somebody I don't know, he's favorited. So this was gonna be the Strider start, but he hurt himself warming up. I think that's just a random name, yeah. Does anybody have any confirmation? Braves starter. Does Braves plan to use an opener tonight? According to David O'Brien. So, I guess there's nothing to research for the Braves pitching other than who might be the long reliever. But it's all kind of a guess. And this kid, Nathan Wiles, can pull him up. Is the guess. Like Bubich and Ober with Oakland stack. I can get behind that. I was really excited to stack Oakland when I thought Nick Kurtz was playing, but it sounds like he's gonna sit tonight. $9.6K per 9 in the minors. Heavy ground ball rate. I mean, so far so good. Last year, not so much though. His X-Strip's still kind of high this season as well. This season he's been great. Every year before though, it looks like a problem. So I don't know. But kind of funny that they got a heavy run total and are pretty favorited at minus 149. So we're gonna go Braves offense here against Payante. Honestly, Payante is like a stat killer too, though. This ground ball rate's kind of crazy. 389 expected ERA. Why is there a 5 run total here? Let's Play Gun is not. Gun has no idea what Vegas is thinking, just for Vegas to be so right later on. Yeah, there does look like it could be some rain. Let's put a note. Watch for potential weather. Well, gotta go Braves just because Vegas knows more than me. A 5 run total is a 5 run total. If you're going after Cardinals, you might not get 2 at bats against the same pitcher. You might with Walls, but you might not. You're kind of betting on talent. But supposed to be Strider. Start. Got injured. Using opener per beat writer. Likely Wiles, who has been good in this season, but not last few seasons. There's our game notes for the Vipers. Scott Blewett will open for Atlanta. Blewett's got to be the worst name for a pitcher. I feel like Blewett's the worst name for a pitcher, and Armstrong is the best name. These are Scott Blewett. He's been pretty good, but he might just be one inning. I don't know. We just gotta know. We're betting on talent, so. Revamped his cutter. It's his best pitch. Started to use a vertical slider. Dude, isn't a vertical slider just a curveball? My horizontal curve. No, I'm just. For single entry, is it good to see the lineups? See the lineups? Yeah, I just like so don't get me wrong, like Payante doesn't strike people out, but man, this ground ball rate, this is right-handed prime Martin Perez stuff, right? Where yeah, he sucks, but most of the time you're just gonna paper cut him. You might ground into a double play and then you move on. It's just like this run total's got me looking though. But I mean the low barrel rate and the high ground ball rate, that's stat killer 101. And it's not, it's not just this year. It's there's sample behind it. So I'm kind of not there on it. It's gonna stay away. But yes, it could be a weather problem. So let's keep that. Let's move on. Let's go. I don't know what to do with the pitchers here. Payante, I'm gonna give him a 17% K rate. 7.5 walk rate. don't got nothing. I'll probably just give him 15 outs as a projection. And this cat, I'm gonna give him a 18, 8, and let's go 13 outs. Let's just obscure numbers to put something in there. We got a couple lineups in. I don't know if we should probably just wait and go circle back later, yeah? Keep it moving. We did get that Marlins lineup. All right, let's go White Sox and Twins. And Twins! Davis Martin taking on Bailey Ober. White Sox have a 3.4 run total. Twins with a 5.3. Sheesh. Like, we do have a confirmed Twins lineup. Julian, Buxton, Luke Keishel, Trevor Larnach, Carlos Correa, Ty France, Ryan Jeffers, Brooks Lee, Harrison Bader, former Yankee great. Davis Martin, not what you want. 13% K rate so far this season. Last year peaked at 21%. All the underlying metrics, not what you want. A high whip, almost a 1.5 whip this season, over a 6 expected ERA. None of that's great. Particularly has struggled against lefties so far. High walk rate, high home run per 9 allowed, but a high line drive rate and a high hard contact rate to righties. Likely will bring up this home run per 9 to righties as well. Maybe something like last year. So big spot for the Twins as their run total suggests. So we're gonna go Twins here. Bailey Ober, 20% K rate, 19 innings so far. Probably boost them up to find it somewhere in the middle of last year because it is the White Sox. White Sox are just an incredibly high K team and an incredibly bad offense. That 3.4 run total is kind of giving Ober that love, and Ober just might be too cheap for the spot. Period. Yikes! It's giving you 6 in the last 2 games. 4 and 5 innings. He's not a strikeout king, but I will say he's kind of had a tough road for strikeouts. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go. Got this up right. So we have on his strength of schedule, we got KC check. That's number 1. We've got the Mets. That's number 5. We've got Houston. Houston is bottom half, so he owes that one. And then we got St. Louis, which is bottom half. So I'll say his last 2 games at least were 2 top 5 teams in strikeouts, and he was able to, and not striking out, and he was able to muscle through and not be the worst and give you a shot at the quality start. So usually not my favorite play, usually overvalued, I think, by the league or by the industry, in my opinion. But today, I think he's just fine, and today likely brings that 20% K rate up. So you gotta throw him in the blender here, and it's more matchup than anything. The White Sox suck so bad, but don't let me tell it, because I've been chasing strikeouts against White Sox all year. So I'm gonna bring up his strikeout rate to like a 22. We're gonna leave Martin at a 16. Walk rate for Martin, we're gonna give him a 7.5. Over, we're gonna give him, and we'll give them both 7.5. And then let's go check out the outs. 17.5. They're basically gonna push him to 18, maybe. Maybe he stays 17.5. And then 15 for Martin. So 15, 17.5. I'm gonna give him 2 on that QS, man. We'll go from there. He was sick with the flu in that first. That's right. I remember that. What's up, Jim? Projections high on Houston today against Bassett. Thoughts? Me personally, I got Chris Bassett as a dark horse for Cy Young, so I can't really co-sign that. But when you say projections are high, you mean like industry projections have the Astros looking great? Or the Astros run total here? Or it's not actually, they're underdogs, so I don't know. That'll be the we're gonna get to that game. We're 3 games away from that, but I'm kind of a Chris Bassett guy right now. We're getting a lot of lineups confirmed too, so Benintendi has great target field splits. I can get down with that. Him and Robert and Vaughn, those should be the guys that are the biggest problems talent wise, but yeah, past that. Give him the GOAT. Shout out Jim. Shout out Jim. All right, we projected that. All right, let's move on. Rockies and the Royals. Both lineups are out and confirmed. Sean Bouchard, Farmer, McMahon, Goodman, Talia, Stallings, Mickey Moniak, Jordan Beck, and Sean as projected. Love to see that. Royals, India, Bobby Witt, Pascantino, Salvi, Garcia, Massey, Renfro, Waters, Isbell as projected. Love to see that. Rockies have a 3.2 run total. Royals with a 5. Couple 5s so far. Feltner, no. 20% K rate. We'll just go ahead and put that in the projection with a... I'm gonna give him my 8% walk rate. I might be undercutting his actual 19% to lefties. Half of this lineup's lefties. I'm gonna meet in the middle. Maybe I go 10. I'll go 10 for last year to this year. And then for Bubic, we're giving that 26% K rate. Might even be worth going up a little. Maybe I'll go 28. Meet in the middle of this year to last year, and then we'll go 8% on the walk, right? So 28 and 8. Matchup wise, you gotta like Bubic, and one of the more pitcher-friendly parks against one of the more pitcher-friendly teams. That just, man, don't get me started. White Sox, Rockies offense, pitch against them. I think homie was in chat with Bubic and Ober. Those are good places to start, man. Bubic obviously has the better park and maybe the better offense. Maybe not. I don't know. Run total says no, but Bubic for sure top of the interest ranking here. Then we're going to Royals. Feltner just not good. High whip, low K, high power, high average allowed to lefties. It's just a good spot for the Royals to get in some runs here. As you know, Kauffman, not a big home run stadium. 28% below league average last couple years in homers to lefties. 13% below average in homers to righties. So if you're gonna extrapolate all the upside here, one, either you get the anomalic performance where it gives up a bunch of bombs, which is not a crazy range of outcome for the pitching of Feltner and what's coming out of the Rockies bullpen. But you also get some of that flatter, balanced attack with multi-hit and stolen base potentials, and guys like Bobby Witt, India, Garcia can steal some bags here. So kind of an interesting floor stack, if anything else, right? Because they do have some good, especially Bobby Witt. So that's how I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go Bubic, Royals, not playing Rockies. We'll throw some innings or some outs for Bubic, 17 and a half. I'm gonna give him 18 flat, and I'm gonna give Feltner 15. And then I'll give Bubic probably 3 towards a QS. It's just that strong of a matchup. Did you miss the Braves already? You did miss the Braves, but it was really who the heck's pitching for them. It just looks like it's gonna be a bullpen game featuring Weil. E5 splits in Minnesota. There's a couple teams with weird splits. Who was it Glaber and like Camden? No, it wasn't Glaber. It was it McCutcheon? There was somebody that had some crazy splits in Camden yards. And it just kind of like felt real after a while. Maybe it was I don't know, it was years back though. Salvi's been top 5 for most unlucky hitter. Yeah, Salvi's in the stadium will do it. Devers, Betts. Oh, Mookie. It was Mookie in Camden. That's what it was. And then they started like leading them. And that homie was just going crazy. Well, I'm seeing Dodgers and Houston. Dodgers 35%, Houston 20% lineup exposure. Is that from your sim or projections? I can't really see any team being that high owned on the 10-game slate, unless it's like a unbridled simulation. Rizzo at PNC. Yeah, I can get it down with that. Lead off Rizzo. That was fun. Dodgers and the Cubs. 4.5 run total for the Dodgers. Cubs at 4.2. We're getting a lot of lineups. It was Glaber. Oh, Sims. Okay. Yeah, with Sims, I'm not an expert on the Sims. I'm still toying with I have the stochastic Sims. If you guys want to try it, link in the description below. But I'm learning you still got to put your own input on it. Because one night I played a three-game late slate, and it tried to give me so much Antonio Sensatella against the Dodgers. I was like, that's not happening. So I did some research and I had to set it to 0. But the flip side is Sensatella was 16% owned, and I walked away with negatives, and so I guess the rake was covered. But I say that in jest because the guy I finished 3rd place that night. The guy in 2nd had Sensatella with -3 or whatever. But you got to go through and put your own caps after a while. But it is cool to see what the Sims spit out pre-flop. But it seems like a lot of it is anti or super leverage. I don't know what goes into it, but a lot of times it'll spit out a lot of the same, and it'll go super concentrated, especially on pitchers and smaller slates. Dustin May, 21.5% K rate so far this season, a sub 0.8 whip, a 2.27 expected ERA. He's facing a Cubs offense that is pretty good. I think we've been on the May train for a couple of positive matchups, especially the Rockies, which he dropped 7 strikeouts. I think that is just matchup induced, and also don't love that we haven't seen him go far over 80 pitches, but he is giving us a shot at 6 innings. With that said, this is not the Rockies. This is the Cubs, and the Cubs have been a juggernaut offense, I guess you could say, on the season. Let's see. We have runs scored. Cubs have the 2nd most runs scored in baseball against righties, and it just makes all the sense in the world, right? Kyle Tucker, Suzuki, Michael Busch, those 3 have really been bringing the boom. And then we've seen Pete Crow Armstrong kind of evolve as a player, high speed, kind of nifty guy here. So I don't love the spot for Dustin May, and I don't love the maybe kind of capped out pitch count, especially against a somewhat patient Cubs team. We have an aggregate 10.3% walk rate. Looking at league average, Chicago walks the most in the league against righties right now. So if you got a kind of a glass ceiling on your pitch count, a tougher matchup, I just feel like I'm rooting for Dustin May long term. This ain't the spot for me. And then Imanaga on the other side, K stuff has not been there, but the swing and strike rate is still there. The called strikes are still there. Most of the other stats are pretty linear and consistent with last year, except the K rate. So that could be a little bit of unluckiness, but we do have a 4+ expected ERA and a lot of power allowed. So I think this is an offense game for me. Doesn't matter which offense first, right? I think we'll go the team with the most at-bats, and then we'll go Cubs. Dodgers, Cubs. I think Dodgers are a flatter stack, and you can get to more people quicker. And with pitching being kind of valuable to, or there's some like a Bailey Ober. It's not going to be that hard to fit in like an Otani here. And kind of the same inversely with the Cubs here. So I'm going to go offense here. Gotta keep it there. Gleyber, yeah, Gleyber's got some crazy cannon splits. But then they like, I think that was, I'm not gonna say him specifically, but not gonna not imply that that was part of the reason Baltimore started pushing that wall back. and then they brought it back once their team got good. You have Hunter Brown as a dark horse for Cy Young, listening from behind. I don't mind that either. It's just more of a, when I looked at the odds last 5 days ago, I guess he was like 7,000 plus 7,000 or 70,000. I don't remember. Basically, implied probability was like 1.6%, and I was like, I think he's got better than a 2% chance of being Cy Young with what we've seen. So that's why I got him. That's what I mean by dark horse there. Dodgers just jumped to a 50% lineup exposure. Yeah, I would say, I don't know, are you using stochastics? I'm not too familiar with all of them. I'm really not that familiar with stochastics as much, but I've gotten a lot better. Maybe I could run some for the early slate because I kind of want to run a batch. But you guys set your exposures kind of like an opto as well. Or if you're just not feeling something, come down. You should never have 50% of any team on a 10-game slate if you're mass multi-entering. Definitely was the reason. Yep, Gleyber did it. Oh, Gleyber's in Detroit now. We can move the walls back in. We're good. No, but like all the opposing righties would come in, especially when that one Yankees team was all righties, for crying out loud. So let's put out some projections here. For May, we'll go, give him that 21.5. In Imanaga, we'll go, I'm gonna give him 20. I'm gifting him 2% based on last year. And then we'll go 8%. 8.5 for the May walk rate. Imanaga will go, Jesus, we'll go 9. We'll see what our Vegas lines are at for. Okay, I'm blind. Cool. Hello, Imanaga. They just don't have. Oh, we just don't have those. All right. Well, for May, I'm gonna give him 15.5 for now, and 16.5 on Imanaga. Let's do that. All stacks, still learning gun. I mean, yes, you should be running all stacks, but you should never be running 50% of a team on a 10-game slate. That's what I'm saying. So I think you go through and kind of adjust the stack exposures. Any tool still needs your input, right? There's not a tool. Tools are meant to help the human, right? You gotta still kind of lead it. So I would say, in contrast, like it'll tell you, or it should tell you, the projected field ownership versus your ownership. You don't really need to be 3 times the field on any stack that's in the double digits. Like you could be 3 times the field on a 2% owned stack or something like that, but you don't have to. If you're running a large portfolio of lineups, like there's no reason for half of them to be stuck on one team on a 10-game slate. Especially when that much leverage is not necessary versus the field. Blue Jays, 23% Phillies, 20% Twins, 19% Dodgers. That seems fair. It also feels a little aggressive, but it seems fair. Like it's not 50%. And I'm assuming those are 5-mans. And also, I don't know the context of how many lineups, right? 20% and 20 lineups versus 150 lineups has a different feel. Let's move to Blue Jays and Astros. Blue Jays have a 4.2 run total. Astros 4 run total. Which, by the way, if you have 50% of a team and you're running 10 lineups, then F everything I just said. When someone, like, I feel like if you're simulating a slate, you're probably running a 50 to 100 to 150. All right, Chris Bassett on the bump here for the Blue Jays against the Astros. Astros home dog slightly. Bassett has been so good. 33% K rate for him this season. 107 on the whip, 284 on the expected ERA. And we kind of like Max Meyer. We looked into Chris Bassett before his last 2 starts. We kind of found that there are some slight changes to his slider, and it has been. Was it slider? It's not slider. We've been seeing some big changes in his movement, his total movement on his pitches, right? So his sweeper is 4.5 inches of movement. Last year was 3.7. Split finger, basically just more movement overall on most of his pitches. Even his fastball, not so much his fastball, which has generated more swing and miss. A 38% whiff on that cutter. Last year was 26%. 53% on that sweeper. Last year it was at 46%. And just has so many different pitches to throw. I mean, good God. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches registered. That's insane. And they're all pretty good outside of his splitter right now, generating reasonable results and expected results. So I like the guy. I do. The Astros a tougher matchup, 21% aggregate K rate in this projected lineup, with 1 through 4 being a really, really hard to strike out bunch. So I might not be as money where my mouth is today on Chris Bassett as I am long term, but I don't think it's impossible to get a plus strikeout day against the Astros. And I've kind of been taking advantage of some guys against the Astros on the A-prop market lately, just because some guys get pushed all the way down. Astros on the season against righties, we said, have a 23.1% K rate, so they're below their bottom half in the league. So when we start elongating their sample size to the beginning of last year, we expect some regression to that. But sometimes you get new hitting coaches, you get new hitting philosophies, right? You want to be a little bit more aggressive at times, and we know Altuve is one of the most aggressive first pitch guys in the league. So it has resulted in more strikeouts so far this season. So I don't think it's an insane click to get to some Bassett. Especially love his high ground ball rate to righties. And this projected lineup gives you just Yordan Alvarez batting from the left batter's box. That could change when the lineup confirms. But if you really tap into his lefty split or his righty splits, high ground ball rate, 1 in 4 plus K rate, and keeps the ball in the park. So it's a matter of getting Alvarez out and then go from there. 50 lineups. Okay, 50 lineups for... I probably wouldn't want 50% of a team at 50 lineups on 10-game area anyway. 150 lineups, Fanduel 4-mans. I like that. Question, Texas, Oakland stack for single entry. Is that chalk? No, I don't think it is. I'll have to double check ownerships in a moment. I can't imagine Texas is chalky, but maybe they are. I don't know that. Usually 10-game slates, we overthink the word chalk. Like, it's usually pretty spread out. I'll go check. And twins, what up, Mike? Let's redo something you rebuilt in Texas is high now. So did you just re-sim the slate? I wish I knew more about how sims work to kind of like explain it. But the way I understand it is like if you click the sim button and I click the sim button, we're not gonna get the same results because there's some variance, right? It's like so each sim could spit out something different. I don't think it's you. I don't know. Let's go. But depending on who you got who sim you're using, they probably have a video up explaining it. I know Greg did one for the stochastic one, and I had to use that one to kind of figure out what I was doing. Why can I not? Try to pull up ownerships, but Phase is really not working on my second monitor. It really doesn't want me to. One lineup has a 5-man Houston. I'm not saying don't. Like the baseball is, any lineup has a puncher's chance at taking it all down. What I was saying is if you end up with 50% of a team on a 10-game slate and you have 50 lineups, you don't need to do that. First of all, you're just like, why even run that many lineups if you're going to be that stuck on one team? I would bring that down. But as far as Astros, like pre-flop, I don't like them as a team to die or live on. But when you just think about the broad results and the variance of a baseball slate, they have enough talent, just as much as anyone, to go out there and put up a 10 spot here. But I tend to lean the Chris Bassett way here. Blanco pitching for the Astros here, 22% K rate, almost a 1.7 on the whip, extremely high walk rate to both sides of the plate. And that could come into a problem, as this Blue Jays team does not strike out, and they'll take their walks. They're not like double-digit walk rates, but they will make you earn them. So, so far this season, second fewest Ks against righties, with literally 0.1% ahead of them are the Royals. And then in walk rate, they're about 9.1%. So this is a really bad spot for Blanco if he's going to struggle to throw strikes. He is struggling long-term against lefties and lefty power. Santander, Andres Jimenez, kind of no warm and fuzzies there. But I'm going to go Bassett. I'm going to go Blue Jays Substack. That's how I read that game. And let's go for Bassett. I'm going to give him that. I'm gonna meet in the middle. I'm gonna give him 28.5% carry rate. And Blanco will go 22. For Bassett's walk rate, we'll go 5.5. Then Blanco 4%. Got some outs here. 18 and 15. Bassett 18. 15 for Blanco. I'm gonna throw Bassett 2 towards the QS. Yeah, you should definitely be running all stacks. But like I said, 50% feels like aggressive. You might even do a global cap just to get started of like 25-30. Even that just feels kind of high on 50, but don't let me tell it, man. We all here. What up, J. Cole? Jermaine Cole, Young Simba. Mr. Nice Watch. All right, let's go. Pirates and the Angels. O'Neal Cruz. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Pirates have a 3.6. I don't know why I went through their lineup like it was confirmed. It's not. 5.1 run total for the Angels. Bailey Falter throwing baseballs for the Pirates. 17% K rate for him. That's a little bit up from his 16% last season. Expected ERA still a little bit elevated. Looking a little bit lucky against righties. A 196 average with a 4.54 xFIP. We're going Angels at the top of our interest ranking here. And then Jose Soriano pitching for the Angels, sub 20% K rate, $1.25 on the whip. Heavy ground ball, kind of like Payante here. You can kind of see him be a stat killer for this broad of a slate, but he does allow some homers so far to lefties. But I don't know if that's going to sustain long term because he has just a 23% fly ball rate, and usually that doesn't match up. And even the hard contact rate is kind of low. So he's been getting got, but I don't know if that's going to hold up at that clip. So I'm gonna go Angels here, but I would say Pirates Substack isn't out of question, especially on a ground baller like and someone like O'Neal Cruz or one of these guys can run out a grounder, infield single, start making some stuff happen on the bases. But it's super sub. You know what? I'm not even gonna do Substack. We'll let the Optos and the Sims drop it where it goes, and then we'll go Angels as a stack. Not really interested in either pitcher. Bailey Falter, let's throw him a 17% K rate. Soriano, give him a 19.5. Walk rate on Falter, 8. Soriano, 7. Like Soler. A little juice on Soriano going the distance here. 17.5, 155 on the over. Walter about 15. So I'm gonna give Soriano that 17.5. Do I rethink? I guess it's just a matter of Pirates aren't like super great. WRC Plus has 2 guys with the flash of green here. It's Soriano. I don't know. I think it's ground ball rate can certainly eat up some innings. I'm gonna keep it where it is. I think I'll give him 1 towards a QS just to give some credence to that Vegas line. Then we'll move on. Go Rays and D-backs. Zach Littell, Brandon Fat. We got a 4 run total for the Rays, 5.2 for the D-backs. Let's see if the roof is open via MLB.com/blah blah 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 blah. Roof is open, and it's supposed to be open for the next week, so that's important because it'd be like 80 to 90 degrees out there. So we're gonna give it a 1-point park or weather boost. D-backs are -170 favorites. Little is 20% K rate on the season. $1.25 on the whip, and I gotta fix that. $1.25 shouldn't be green. There we go. We like some D-backs for sure. Fat's been kind of like super hit or miss. A 5.25 expected ERA this season. Last season, his overall metrics were gettable and a double-digit % barrel rate. So I kind of like the offenses here. And if they lead off Chandler Simpson, you guys know the deal with him. Really doggone fast. I'm not that intrigued with either pitcher from a 10-game standpoint. Especially when we look at Little's lefty splits and Corbin Carroll, Pavin Smith, Josh Naylor, but especially Corbin Carroll and Pavin Smith. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that at that. I'll go 20% on Littell. Bet will be at 20% as well. Walk rates are really nice. Let's go 7 though. Then for we'll go 5. See what Vegas has on outs here. 17.5. They got fat going to distance. Ooh. I'm gonna give him 15. We'll give him 17.5, and I'll give him 1 towards a QS. Kind of go from there. But yeah, D-back stack makes a lot of sense here. I love when the roof is open, man. It's just kind of like, ever since the humidor came out, people are like, oh, it's the humidor, it's dead now. But man, you forget the early months out there. It's still like summertime everywhere else. You get 80-degree baseball, 90-degree baseball. 3.6 run total for the Brewers, 4.1 on the Giants. Quintana, 13% K rate. Jordan Hicks, 19%. God dang it. It's National Gun Hates Jordan Hicks Day. Let's just fill out Quintana's projection here. I'm going to give him a 15 and 5. And for Hicksy, I'm going to give him a 20 and 8. So you guys know my beef with Hicks by now. Just kind of figure somebody that throws 100-mile-an-hour sinkers was going to generate more strikeouts, but that has not been the case. But I think it's mainly because he doesn't have a secondary pitch to cash in on the 2 strike counts. But look at this, 98-mile-an-hour average sinker. That is up 3 miles an hour from last year, and the whiff is the exact same, like 11% and 11%. The sweeper is generating a 52% whiff rate, so maybe that'll start being realized. But I've just been like getting burned every 5 days on his K props because I'm like, dude, he's throwing 100 sinkers and he's got a sweep. You know, how is he not? But he is just not. He's just not been coming through for me. Now you put him in Oracle. From a real life perspective, he still should be harder to hit, but a 1.4 whip, a 4.1 expected ERA, is struggling to throw strikes against lefties. This is a Brewers lineup that will come out probably at least 4 lefties: Turang, Yelich, Frelick, and Garrett Mitchell. But eyes are on Yelich and Turang. Turang is 16% K rate, 8% walk rate. Yelich is at a 14% walk rate. So 7,400, I still like have chip in a chair feelings for that price point in Oracle of all parks, where I think he does make the player pool in in 100 and 150 and 10 or less. I'm too burned, I'm too sour. No Quintana for me. He just doesn't have the upside that I'm looking for. And so far this season, heavy ground ball rate. So he's much like we talked about with like the Martin Perez's, the Payantes. Stack killer-esque with a high ground ball rate and not allowing a ton of homers. And that's what you're really going to need in these 10-game slates. You're more likely to have those 1 or 2 teams that are going to have 4 or 5 homers and drop 10, 15 runs, stuff like that. And when you put a heavy ground ball pitcher like the Payantes, like the Quintanas, where yeah, they'll give up some homers, but are they going to give up stack winning 10-game slate amounts of damage? Usually no, so I kind of stray away from going crazy against them, but I don't mind some sub stacks and one-offs against them, especially Elliot Ramos, Jung-Ho Lee, Matt Chapman, all guys, and Wilmer Flores, man, he's finding some power this year for sure. He's pretty attainable on both sites. Probably not going 4 deep there, but I think they all make a little bit of sense. I'm probably not even going to rank this game out. It really just be one-offs on these bets, just because it is Oracle with medium run totals. But there is still a part of me that wants to take a shot on Jordan Hicks at 7K and hope for like opening day 20 plus fantasy points. And he just had a tough strength of schedule. Seattle's a strikeout team. He should have went out there and shoved, but the walks, man, the walks. Yeah. What's our outs from Vegas on these two? 16, 15 and a half. Not really getting a lot of upside there. All right, 16, 15 and a half. We'll run that. Here, what up, Big Chops? What up, Jesse? Grade 1 hamstring for Strider. Going to be a couple weeks. Dude, that is it's unfortunate. I always said he was playing catch. I'm on day 4 of a water fast. I want a steak so bad. All right, we only got one game left. So we'll take a pause for the cause, plug the website, then we'll do the last game, then we'll go back and sweep all the lineups. A bunch of confirms came out, and any questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, anything, we'll do that. And then I'll be swimming for props, maybe off air, but still. All right, so if you guys are tuning in, you're stumbling across on YouTube, what we're doing is we're filling out the spreadsheet for MLBgrind.com. You guys want to get access to the spreadsheet, go to MLBgrind.com, click premium memberships. There's a week pass, month pass, year pass. Get in there. You'll get a link to the Discord, a link to the spreadsheet. Discord looks something like this. The Discord's dressed out with the automated updates, the underdog tweets, the home run alerts, the barrel alert, stolen bases. I was going to do strikeouts, but I felt like that was overkill. And then in that Discord, you can tag me, and I'm pretty fast on the replies unless I'm like out on the town or something like that. And then when I do throw together some prop cards, I create a separate channel, and I just spam that channel with everything I'm running. Yesterday, I kind of got like smacked around by one person in that Soto missed homer. But today, last night took a L. Today we bounced back, right? Today's looking pretty juicy with 15 games to choose from. So if you guys want some of that, go to MLBgrind.com and jump in. We'll have projections for the early slate, the main slate, the bomb detector, all that good stuff. Tonight, by the way, I think the schedule week to week, I think we're probably going to do day streams on Mondays and Tuesdays, because it looks like that's how like the slate's giving us a lot of afternoon stuff, and I like the day slates, the day streams. But then when we jump into the days where they have 11 a.m., 12 a.m. game or 12 p.m. games, I think those are going to be night before, so I might have to jump back on tonight and tomorrow. Oh, and then Friday, I think. So I think we can do Monday, Tuesday, Fridays day streams, and then every other day a night stream. Unless there's just like a throwaway 4-gamer, but we're not going to get that this week. So as we start ironing out that schedule, that's probably what we're looking like. So maybe look for me tonight around God knows when, 10, 11. I've been sleeping so much. All right, main event tonight. What up, Tall? Hope you're doing all right. Are we at 70 on a baseball stream? What's happening? Appreciate you guys, man. If you guys want to hit that thumbs up, that'd be awesome. We got a 4.9 run total for the Rangers. Athletics at a 5.4. Patrick Corbin throwing baseballs against Osvaldo Bido. And if you guys didn't catch it, Patrick Corbin, one, he's coming off a career game, but two, before that game, he got bit by possibly a spider, something venomous for sure, which gave him superpowers to go out there and strike out Mike Trout. I'm joking. I'm not joking, but I'm not joking. This was the quote. Bochy says, we weren't even sure if he was going to be able to pitch. He had a bite. He could hardly walk when he came into the clubhouse. Some kind of venom got in there. Not sure if it was a spider or what. He was 50-50 on whether he would make the start or not. Then Corbin said, something bit me. I still don't know what, but they were able to kind of work it out and just kind of maintain it throughout the day. But it's pretty sore still. It's just kind of something that's been really strange. I was just fortunate to get through yesterday, and I have some time to recover and be good to go. So we got ourselves a comic book in the making with Patrick Corbin, who we all went super deep into those angel stacks last week, and Patrick Corbin went out there and had himself a game. But I tell you what, he only had a 9.4% swing and strike rate and only a 55% first pitch strike, but managed to walk away with 6 strikeouts, 5.1 innings, only giving up 1 earnings. Did give up a 5 hits. So a lot of this is in jest, a lot of it is joking. It's still Patrick Corbin. He's still bad, but man, a 189 xFIP in that game, pretty tilting, pretty frustrating. Going right back to the Corbin's not that good pitching bandwagon, and we're going right into this athletics is good, especially at home in this Sutter Health Park, and some of the explosion games we have seen to start the season. So this should be a pretty unique or pretty fun late night hammer, where 2 of the highest run total teams are the last game on the slate. So if you guys are in first place before this game starts, you'll probably be sweating. I'd be sweating. You couldn't get a needle up my butt with a jackhammer, Holmes. That's how nervous you would be before that started. What up, Rob? Texas has 3 of the 25 worst individual hitters in baseball. All right, I know Jock Peterson got to be one of them, but I don't know. Hey, so the Athletics called up one of the top prospects in baseball right now, Nick Kurtz. Why did that happen? Jesus, that was such, oh my God. I did not mean to do that, I swear. Holy crap. I forgot I had the soundboard on. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was such a bad sound. Oh my God. Guys, I am so sorry. So when I stream Fortnite, I have a soundboard, and sometimes I play the Jesus. Sometimes I play the smoke detector just to see if anybody notices. Oh my God. What up, Mighty Saint? I'm gonna move on from that. That was such a holy crap. All right, let's just, hey guys, none of that happened. Athletic stack at the top, Rangers. All right, Beto, 15% K rate for him, 1.45 whip, 4.46 expected ERA. New bomb detector, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. No smoke detector, that's a bomb detector. I can't believe it. I gotta turn my number key off when I'm streaming. That's where I've remapped all my number keys for the soundboard alert, for just different soundboard numbers. I don't know, like that's the curse button. There's a fart button. There's all that stuff. So I just happen to hit the smoke detector. Anyway, not pitching Beto here. Last year and even this year to lefties, there's a little bit of strikeout potential with that 11% swing and strike rate. I feel like there's going to be some surprise games coming through, but I'm just not going to lean on this one to be that spot for me. And then Patrick Corbin, hey man, GG's, you did your thing. But I'm going right back into assuming that you aren't that good. I would like to see Kurtz in the lineup, but it looks like they came out earlier and said that he wouldn't be playing against a lefty, and they're not. They're just going to get him acclimated to a big league dugout bench and go from there. So give me Athletics, give me Rangers. We're not going to overthink the pitching matchups here, but we do need to put a projection in for that. Kurtz going yard tonight. I don't think Kurtz is playing tonight, Scott. Yeah, I feel that. For Beto, we'll go 18%. Patrick Corbin, 9%, and then Beto will go 9% as well. I would imagine both guys are just like 15 and 15. Yep. All right. So that should formulate our main slate pitcher projections. So let's go pull that up. Let's go pull out the early slate pitchers. And then we're going to go update a bunch of lineups. And if you guys got some hot takes, some questions, anything you want to revisit, throw them in chat. We'll get it all knocked out. We got plenty of time still. Nick Martinez, Cabrera, Bryce Miller, Bayo. Oh, and then Creamer. Hawka. All right, these are our pitcher projections for tonight. Chris Bubich at the top, Bailey Ober. Bassett's up there. Chris Sanchez, Soriano's up there. Let's fall off kind of quickly. Lowest projected, Corbin, Wiles, Davis Martin, and Little. Let's refresh the main slate stack ratings. Go back to NY off, Cleveland off. Real meticulous. I know this is boring to watch. But we have an obligation to the premium subs at MLB Grind. Then you guys run in bold slates, like do mass center bold slates? I guess for the early slate, you got everything you need now. I might go put together a little CSV, get funky with it. I do need to go get an oil change. I wonder if I do that before or after log. All right, Angels came up with the top stack rating. Dodgers, Arizona, Minnesota. Athletics are up there, but they're a little bit lower than you would want them. But I think when that lineup comes out, it'll take up a little bit. What up, Cujo? You were here earlier. Played 3 in the early. I dig it. Guys, I can't believe there's 73 people with me on a baseball stream, dude. That is so crazy. Appreciate y'all. Let's go bomb detector. With the bomb detectors, like, now this is gonna be the entire day, not just a particular slate. Bomb detector likes Trout, shocker, Otani, Buxton, Santander. It gets below 4 pretty fast. That's cool. All right. Any other tabs we need to unlock before we go update some lineups? I don't think so. Oh, our projections. Hello. All right, projections will be all day. So you can copy and paste them into your own CSV if you'd like. And adjust accordingly. And then we've been separating the pitchers' projections. Just because it comes out a little wonky. All right. Anything else that we need? I think we're good. All right, let's go confirm some lineups. And then we'll, I don't know, what you guys want to do? You want to prop shop? You guys got any questions here? Yankees lineup is Ben Rice, Judgy, Belly, Goldie, Ism, Volpe, Jason Dominguez. Dominguez got him one yesterday. Waldo. Get behind that. Dodgers lineup is out. Tatis, Sheets, Machado, Bogarts, Oscar Gonzalez. Jose, I can be your hero, baby. Iglesias, Tyler Wade, Mason McCoy. Tigers, Kerry Carpenter in the leadoff spot. I guess I don't know. I feel like sometimes they've been throwing Glaber against righties, but it would make more sense for Kerry to be your platoon leadoff. Spencer let me down yesterday. Anybody else ride that? I was all over them, the Tigers offense early, but it felt like every time Spencer came up with some, it just didn't work out. I think he ended up with like a single. Then we had like a McKinstry triple or something. We go Reds, they're in. Marlins, Xavier Edwards, Jesus Sanchez, Wagaman, Augustin Ramirez, Kyle Stowers, Connor Norby, Matt Mervis, Otto Lopez, Dane Myers. So we were on the red stack. I was iffy on the Marlin. Dude, the Marlin strikeouts definitely went up aggregate wise with this version of the lineup. And then I think this Ramirez, I think Jake was talking about him. He's a catcher, but he's got some pop. Yeah. A 1.7 OPS so far in the major league level, almost a 790 OPS in the minor league level. So catcher's usually my punt spot. You're getting him at min price in the cleanup spot. That'd be somebody to look into if you guys want to jot that down. I'll write a note. Augustine Ramirez, 2K cleanup. That's a good value, especially from a catcher spot, which is such a typical throwaway spot. Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to play him over Adley, but it is so much cheaper. What up, Andy? Appreciate that, Diego. Yeah, the catcher's looking pretty solid. J-Rod, Polanco, Raleigh, Rosarena, Luke Raley, Rowdy Tellez, Dylan Moore, Miles Mastrobuoni, JP Crawford. Remember, chat, we're likely not doing a day stream tomorrow. I'd have to come back tonight. If I can get my energy levels up, this water fast is kicking my butt, dude. Trying to make it through. I want to make it through at least a week. But like right now, this screen time and that little headache brewing. And I've been just sleeping. But they say that's what's gonna happen to start. So it should normalize. Orioles lineup's a little different. It's a lot different, but a lot of the same names, just different orders. We got El Gary in the mix. And Nats, James Wood, Nate Lowe. Both these lineups came out a little different. Dude, I'm just not typing. I see Nunez. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you would think so. Phillies lineup came out. This is good, man. We're thumbing on lineups right now. Stott, Trey Turner, Harper, Korver, Casty, Kepler, Romuto, Bohm, Rojas as projected. Love to see that. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Marte, Torrens. That going. Yeah, that weather situation in Atlanta. Let me throw a yellow on it. Okay, Newport, Contreras, Donovan, or no, Nolan Gorman. Yeah, I'm slacking on the typing. Olsen, Albies, Harris, Murphy, Kelnick, Orlando Arcia over Nick Allen. Twins lineup. All right, I think everything else we're caught up on. Oh, Cubs lineup. App, Tucker, Suzuki, Bush. Oh, closer. Miguel Amaya. Gage Workman. A little different. You guys different. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. All right, fully caught up on lineups. I'm fading that game. Yeah, might be the way to go. I don't love the spot for the offenses. I dang sure won't want to play the pitcher. It's just that run total had me a little shook. Let's get that. So Boston actually jumped Baltimore in stack rating for me on that last update. Interesting. A lot to do with the parks, I imagine. All right, and that fills us out there. All right. Oh, I'm getting snitched on. Oh, Jake didn't let that one slide. All right, chat. We'll probably be back sometime tonight. Otherwise, I'll be in the Discord for a bit. Twitter.com/Gunducker. Hope you guys crushed it. I'm sure my boy Terry's probably live. You go check out him for some more thoughts. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.